In 1820, philosophy lecturer of nearly 40 passionately discussed his profound insights into philosophy in a classroom at the University of Berlin, despite teaching to a scant audience of unenthusiastic students. In the spacious lecture hall next to Hegel's bustling philosophy symposium, the lecturer, Arthur Schopenhauer, was yet unwelcome among the student community. Not only was he disregarded by his students, but he also faced neglect from his family and society. Yet, how did Schopenhauer establish himself as one of Europe's greatest philosophers? Spending his life in solitude due to ubiquitous rejections, Schopenhauer witnessed plenty of hardships. Alone till old age, his only companion in his twilight years was a poodle named World Soul. He traversed various places across Europe, primarily dwelling in four cities, each attesting to his lifetime filled with estrangement. During his childhood, Schopenhauer's father was a wealthy merchant from Danzig, and his mother was a young beauty of 19. Political circumstances led the family to relocate to Hamburg, where his mother boasted popularity in the local social circles. Gifted academically since early childhood, Schopenhauer displayed little inclination for commerce. He eventually abandoned the family business as envisaged by his mother, choosing instead to devote his life to understanding human suffering. In university, Schopenhauer studied philosophy, profoundly influenced by Immanuel Kant and Plato. Adherent to his path, he solidified his philosophical aspirations early on, attributing his youthful travels for a significant impact on his profound learning and contemplative goals. Contrary to his academic success, Schopenhauer shared an acrimonious relationship with his mother, leading to a severed relationship and his departure from their home. His intellectual brilliance was marked by a sharp and bitter temperament, leading to poor interpersonal relationships. Schopenhauer's philosophy drew heavy influence from Hinduism and Buddhism, which he integrated with Western philosophy to create a distinctive philosophical system. He maintained that his philosophical ideas were original, yet resonated with Buddhist teachings. Living a hermit-like life in Dresden, Schopenhauer began writing his magnum opus, The World, as will and representation, amalgamating his understanding of Hinduism and Buddhism. Despite its lack of initial recognition, it later gained prominence. In 1820, Schopenhauer decided to teach in Berlin, competing with well-established philosophers like Hegel. However, he faced failure, his classes failing to draw in the crowd compared to Hegel. His obstinacy and arrogance cost him opportunities to lecture elsewhere. Unpopular among his peers, Schopenhauer continued traveling and researching, keeping himself distant from mainstream academia and society. In his later years, following health and depression issues, Schopenhauer regained recognition when his Parerga and Paralipomena mirrored society's disillusionment, thus received widespread readership and accolades. Composer Wagner, deeply influenced by Schopenhauer's philosophy, embodied his ideologies in his compositions. Despite gaining fame as a philosopher in his later years, Schopenhauer had his critics and did not engage in arguments as enthusiastically as his younger self. Despite contradictions and disagreements, he esteemed the profundity of his thoughts. His philosophy gradually gained academic attention, with several universities initiating courses on Schopenhauer's philosophy earning international recognition. Schopenhauer lived his twilight years receiving global acknowledgment forte for a philosopher and artist transcending his time. He continued his research and creative pursuits in good health, relishing the much-anticipated esteem accorded in his later years. His eventual tranquil demising at the age of 72 at home marked the extraordinary journey of a genuine philosopher.